All right, now we're going to work with Cami Nori's backstroke. Okay, Cami, as we get started here. I see a lot of good things that you do in terms of your backstroke. The thing that I think affects your backstroke the most or hurts your backstroke the most, I think you have a great idea of how you're supposed to swim the backstroke. You're just leading with your hand more than you are with your shoulder. And I think that's a separation from really, really good backstrokers and most of us in terms of backstroke, is just whether or not we're getting to our side before that hand enters the water. So as you're watching here, you're seeing that you're on your left side as you're pulling, and you should have already made the transition. So if I'm drawing your arm over the top of the water, when your arm was up towards the ceiling, you should already be flat with your back, and you shouldn't be on your left side anymore. So as the hand got directly over your body, over your chest, and was directed towards the ceiling, then you should have been already rotated flat with the shoulder, right shoulder and right hip. And as you can see here, you're still rotated up, towards the ceiling with the right hip and with the right shoulder. So what I typically believe or call this is you're rotating with your hand and not your shoulder. And you got to learn to kind of lead with your shoulder. So if we advance it another clip or another frame, you can see as you're trying to enter the water, you're still on your left side. So, and now you're getting flat, but your hand's trying to get in the water at this point. And you can see a little bend in your elbow in order to make that happen, okay? And as I'll tell anybody, if you are going to enter pinky first, you're going to have to either bend the elbow or enter with the back of the hand. And I think you're kind of fortunate you have the flexibility to bend that elbow and get in that position for entry. So you're able to do it, but the cost is you're not on the side, so you're not going to be as powerful or as efficient with your catch and your pull in the backstroke because you're not on that side. So you're still reaching forward, and now you're on that side. So that should have happened as you were entering the water. So it's just a little late, and it's leading with the hand and not with the shoulder. And then, as you can see, as you're still rotating down, the hand has a tendency to kind of angle itself a little bit towards the bottom. And we really want that hand to be straight up and down at this point so that it's pulling water back already. And you can just see your hand's angled towards the bottom a little bit, so you're pushing up. So you're pulling down and pushing yourself up a little bit at that point. And that's just, if you can get on that right side a little sooner, that will straighten out that hand position so that you're pulling that water. At this point, I really like your feel for the water at this point. You're pulling the water, and you're pulling that water straight back. So as we said before, you're pulling it here and pulling it back toward your feet, which is exactly what you want to do. So your angle of your hand is really good at that point, and you got really good feel for it. And you're finishing back by your hip and then down. And that's a really good finish to the stroke. So I really like that. I do think at the finish of the stroke, you got to be higher with that right shoulder, more on that left side at that point, but it has to happen a little earlier. So I think you're a little late to that side as well. But right now we're looking at the right side. It's closest to us, so we'll continue to watch that. And again, as you're coming through, I can just see that you're just a little late with it. And it affects the kick as well. So by being a little late with that, it puts your legs in a kind of funky position. So now your knee's really high on this kick. At this point, the legs should be much straighter. So it shouldn't be angled down like this. You should be already in this position where the leg's fairly straight and it's coming all the way up straight and the toes pointed. So yours is just a little bit late, but it's all kind of on the timing of that rotation, and it's just a little bit late. So it's leading with the hand and not with the shoulder, and getting on that side a little bit too late. The finish of the stroke's great, and like I said, I think there's a lot of mechanics that work really well. We just got to work really hard on trying to get you to rotate a little bit more timely, getting the shoulders to lead the way and not the hand. And that's what you see from very good backstrokers. They lead with the shoulder all the time. Here, again, you can just see it on this side as well. And I wasn't sure if it was on both sides. Sometimes one side's a little worse than the other, or a little better, so it just depends. But you can see here your shoulder is in a flat position, so then you're going up to the elbow and then up to the hand, or a little flat with the hand. But again, that's the only way you're going to be able to get that pinky in, is by bending that elbow a little bit. That arm should be completely straight. You should be on your side, and that hand should be a little deeper, and you should be rotated to the left side. You can see the hip, you can see this knee position. That's the same thing we were just talking about, where the knee is angled up, and it just gets a little bit off because of the fact that you're not rotated onto that side. You're rotated down to the left when you're trying to enter with that left hand, which is very difficult to do. And if we can get you to lead with your shoulder and get the shoulder down first, the hand will come in much smoother, and that kick will be in a better position where you're not kicking the knee out of the water. So that'll help with the efficiency of the kick too. See, it straightens here because you're on your side here. It should have been on your side earlier, and that arm should have been straight like this at entry. And this is where you would want to enter. And this is the body line for entry, and that's the kick you want at entry. So everything here is, as that hand enters the water, is where you want to be. And you're on that side finally, and it straightens out the kick and straightens out the stroke. For me, everybody swimming backstroke, that head and body position means so much, but the rotation means so much. And if it happens too late, and that's the thing you got to change for yourself, is feeling the rotation happening. So see right here, this shoulder should be completely out of the water already. You should be up here with this shoulder up. The left shoulder or the right shoulder should be down, should be already under the water. So you should be rotated that side. Same with the hip. It needs to be up on the surface of the water already. So you're just a little late with it. You're waiting for the hand to get in the water to rotate to that side, and it needs to be the shoulder. Other than that, the head position's good. The body position's good. You're not riding quite as high as you need to because you're just not on the side enough. But other than that, it's pretty good. You're pulling water in the right way, grabbing that water and pushing it back to your feet. You can just see the angle gets a little disturbed right at the beginning, and those first 2 to 3 inches of catch are so important, and they get really set up by whether or not that shoulder's in the right position straight off the bat. Because once you get past that point of rotating and you get the shoulder down enough, the hand is exactly in the position it needs to be, pushing the water. Nice 90-degree angle bend on the elbow. These are all good things. It shows me that you really think about what you're doing, and you got feel for what you're doing. You're just late with execution. And we can really work on that. You need to think about it, but it's just something we need to talk about and kind of work with. And it'll straighten out, it'll make your kick a lot stronger, it'll make your pull a lot stronger if we can just get you to rotate at the right time.